And we are ready to get underway. Two of the game's biggest stars on the stage. And it goes to LeBron James to start things off. James, the leader, drops it off to Kedrick Brown. Into the corner. LeBron with a floater that's good.
LeBron James.
It's remarkable. LeBron James, just 18 years old, first guy in the gym here today. With all the hype, all the publicity, all the glory and attention he's already received, to say nothing of the money, his work ethic truly remarkable.
Well, Michael Jordan would always be the first one on the floor as well. People don't realize greatness doesn't just come from talent, it comes from hustle. Shot clock is down to 3. Strickland tries to go at it, reverses it. Around Ilgauskas as well with the reverse.
And an outstanding screen by Tracy McGrady, using his body to free up Rod Strickland. What an addition. Called from New York, where he was staying at the time.
LeBron James continues to be hot. That's a three-pointer.
27 points a game, 45% shooting since the trade of Ricky Davis.
Juwan Howard off the mark. Andrew DeClerc, what a strong rebound and putback.
Andrew DeClerc has done a wonderful job for Johnny Davis. In the starting lineup now, since the firing of Doc Rivers.
We're going to hear Doc later on tonight on ABC. The Rockets and the Lakers game. Kedrick Brown, you see the shot clock is now down to 4 again. Boozer turns and fires no good, but Grady with the rebound.
We'll see a lot of zone defense from Johnny Davis's Orlando Magic, trying to capitalize on their weakness up front.
Oh, Ilgauskas thought he had the block there, but it's the foul. Doris.
John, Cleveland becoming a much better basketball game since the acquisition of 3 key guys just 10 days ago. In Kedrick Brown, they get a guy who's a very solid defender from the 2 and 3 spots. In Tony Battie, you're talking about a guy they knew he was an active defender and rebounder. They've been pleasantly surprised with his face-up jump shooting ability. And in Eric Williams, you get a guy who's known for his leadership on and off the court. Since his arrival, he's talked constantly with LeBron about defensive mechanics and situations. Sometimes a trade, Bill and John, addition and subtraction help a basketball team.
Absolutely, and defense such a key. Brady! Throw it down, baby! I mean,
goodness gracious sakes alive. We've seen this, John, throughout this season, that all the other teams have come to play against LeBron. We're going to see that from Tracy today.
The steal by Strickland to McGrady. A two-handed jam this time.
What electricity in this building. This is spectacular. It hasn't been this loud since they broke the 19-game losing streak against Phoenix when Frankie Johnson got ejected in the closing moments in his last closing gasp for the Phoenix Suns. 7-0
run here. LeBron James is in trouble. And he gets pushed by DeClerc.
Poor closing of defense, but Tracy McGrady, the remarkable athleticism, that is head high on the rim.
That is showing some hops. And Tracy McGrady, just like everyone else, knows LeBron James is a great player, knows that he's going to be a great player for a lot of years in this league. But they want to prove that they are the man.
Talking to Tracy in the training room before the game, he's ready, he's focused. Just 24 years old, the first time he's ever played against LeBron. Look for him to come out and make a major statement.
Ilgauskas trying to back up the Clerk, and a lot of hands reaching in there. McGrady was there as well. And it's on Andrew DeClerc. The trade was the key thing, and Ricky Davis was the key in the trade. Here's the numbers of the guys they brought in. But forget about the numbers. The important thing was they had a guy on the team who thought he should be the man, not LeBron James.
And that's a major misthought.
Yes.
Because when you have a guy who has as much talent, as much athleticism as LeBron James, you have to step aside. Ricky in Cleveland was unwilling to do that. Now, since he's got over to Boston, Ricky has been on his absolute best behavior. There's been no problems whatsoever. Orlando's
starting 4 of 5 from the field. couple of those dunks, though. McGrady tries to get Newble in the air. The Clerk back to McGrady. Jump shot. Good.
I think 46 is a conservative estimate the way Tracy. And Johnny Davis told us in our pregame meeting that when they see it on Tracy's face, they know just to get out of his way and give it to him every single time.
7 points already now. Newble to the baseline cutoff, and Strickland with the great hands and a great steal to McGrady. Trying to create midair, go backwards, not there. LeBron James now. The Clerk is back. The pass was for Boozer, broken up. Giricek. McGrady, Giricek reverses it and drops it down.
Paul Silas needs a timeout. They are getting run out of this building. The tempo, even though Silas likes the up-tempo game, it is not working in Cleveland's favor.
Not at all.
Transition points. Orlando 6-0.
And that's the difference we have in the game. It's 13-7. T-Mac says King James may be in the house, but can he do this?
And Jim was scoffing at me when I said we're here to witness a historical performance.
Okay. Yeah.
So, John, you're going to take it out, correct?
Yeah, I'll take it up, set up the trade, and then you can do the graphic. Orlando has the early lead here. Tony Battie, J.R. Bremer, and Eric Williams were the three guys they got from Boston for Ricky Davis, Chris Minn, and Michael Stewart.
Paul Silas has tried to change the culture of what's going on in Cleveland, and it has worked since the trade. Before, they couldn't get a victory at all. Now they're playing tremendous basketball. They are playing much better defense. -12 there, and then the free throw attempt differential per game. To go from a -2.5 to a +13 is truly remarkable. They are playing great basketball in Cleveland.
I said J.R. Bremer part of that trade. He's been here. Obviously, I meant Kedrick Brown, who came over from the Celtics, but J.R. Bremer spent some time in Boston as well.
Paul Silas, his goal is to control the paint. Early on, they're going to pound it inside to Ilgauskas, and with Carlos Boozer controlling the offensive glass, Orlando's got a lot of work ahead of him.
Strickland goes in trying to create something that's not there. Ilgauskas with the rebound, ahead to Ira Newble.
Plus, by taking it inside, they could capitalize on the fact that the Clerk's already got 2 early fouls.
Ron James, jump shot. Sweet. Foot on the line for a 2. Comes up with a steal.
What talent.
And another jumper. Rainbow. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that thing almost hit the ceiling. It came straight down.
How much longer is he going to be playing the early game?
Not much longer. Not much at all. Strickland, jump shot. Too deep.
So much of the Magic's troubles were because of the loss of Darrell Armstrong, who went over as a free agent to New Orleans. And Strickland just brings so much on and off the court to this young Orlando squad.
Shot clock dips below 10. LeBron James, Kedrick Brown, out to James. It's a three-pointer, and that one's well off the mark. Giricek got a hand in his face.
LeBron's ability to convert from the defensive end immediately to offense. Just the sense of knowing when to pull the trigger. Something that he didn't have in the early month of his initial NBA campaign. But now that he's been around the block one time, he's figured out that, you know what, this is exactly what I used to do back there in the high school level.
Drew Gooden has checked in, as you saw. The stars of this game have already combined for 16 points. James with 9, McGrady with 7. How about Juwan Howard trying to create something out of nothing?
Well, rarely will you see Juwan Howard miss a guy as wide open as Guricek was. Juwan Howard's been playing outstanding ball, as has Drew Gooden, who's now in the lineup replacing DeClerc.
Newble dumps it down to Ilgauskas, turns and gets fouled by Howard, who that was kind of a foul just because he couldn't get out of the way. He tried to back off. Ilgauskas really didn't have a shot. You can decide which players will be all-star starters. Log on to NBA.com and cast your ballot for the 2004 NBA All-Star Game. And you can bet this guy's going to be there. You think LeBron is going to make the starting lineup?
Not the starting lineup.
No?
It's early.
You don't think he'll get?
There's a lot of votes to be cast still. But
he certainly.
Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
Yes.
Right now are the Eastern guards. LeBron well down the list. But the way he's been playing, last 8 games, 27 points per game. The head-to-head matchup right now, both guys off to spectacular starts. And Tracy McGrady's really been passing the ball very well.
Guricek, wow. Floater. And he had to get it up high over Kedrick Brown.
Now, one of the reasons for the 19-game losing streak off the start of the top for the Magic was Guricek was hurt so badly with the sprained foot, which turned into plantar fasciitis.
Ilgauskas' jump hook is good. 5 points for the big guy.
Paul Silas telling that Ilgauskas has been playing so much better because he's feeling pressure from Eric Williams there. And Ilgauskas no longer has the luxury of just being in there all the time, no matter what.
You're not playing well. Someone else is coming off the bench. Juwan Howard with another jumper from the baseline.
How could these two teams combine for only 16?
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
And this is one of the better games I've seen all season long. And we're just getting started.
Ilgauskas is swatted from behind by McGrady. Will still be Cleveland's basketball. Teams are shooting 60% for Cleveland, 64% for Orlando.
Great to see Tracy McGrady playing that kind of defense. What a talent on both ends of the floor, McGrady.
Kedrick Brown, jump shot good. That's a three-pointer.
Brown was really a lost soul up in Boston.
Yep.
There was no opportunity for him there playing behind Pierce. He was injured basically the whole time, and this is a great chance. Can you imagine starting next to LeBron James at the beginning of your NBA career?
Juwan Howard drops it in. He's pretty hot right now. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I get traded to Cleveland. They're a losing team, but guess who I get to play with?
Every game, such a focus, such a spotlight, the national TV coverage.
Kedrick Brown chased down by Guricek as Orlando was playing a zone there. You like the zone? I mean,
I love it.
You're a proponent of the zone in the NBA?
Keep it simple. Let them play whatever kind of defense they want. It makes for more strategy, allows for more different types of situations to evolve, and more different types of players can contribute.
Tony Battie, one of the guys who was traded from Boston, also arrives. Tyronn Lue is in, and Keith Bogans as well. Bogans has been a surprise. Kedrick Brown again.
Kedrick Brown, noted for his defensive capabilities. His quiet personality has really come up with some nice offensive plays early on.
Juwan Howard trying to stay hot. Gets it on the front of the iron, won't drop down. Gooden turns around, too strong. Pops it back in his hands, trying to fight it up. No whistle.
Give it to
McGrady! Oh, my!
That was a combination of Michael Jordan, Dr. J, and George Gervin on the same play.
I, too, can finger roll.
Yeah, Gooden and Howard are really playing ball for Johnny Davis.
Tyronn Lue just picks up that foul.
Tracy McGrady gets the loose ball at the free throw line. Clears everyone out. His elevation today, truly remarkable. We have seen Tracy put on some of the great individual performances in the history of basketball. Today, I have never seen him play better than he has in the first 8.5 minutes of the first quarter.
The only things that are higher than Tracy McGrady has gone have wings. You know, everything else. LeBron James now with 11 points as he dropped them both down. Tyronn Lue.
The record for most points on a Christmas Day game is held by Bernard King in 84 of 60. We are going to have to see if that is in jeopardy today.
McGrady grazes the front of the iron.
And with both teams committed to the up-tempo style, we got a real chance.
James backs it out. Boozer. They'll play off Carlos Boozer, not knowing he's a pretty good shooter.
How can you play off anyone from Duke who's learned how to develop skills, learned how to play, forcing Johnny Davis to call a timeout?
We've got a tight one here on Christmas Day. Another project.
Welcome back to Orlando, where Cleveland has a slight edge here, 25-23. And John and Bill, I am not sure if you guys have completed your holiday shopping, but we're going to give you a little visual inspiration here. LeBron James at a Cleveland Browns game, sporting a nice white mink coat. And I asked him, I said, hey, what was the value of that? He said, I can't tell you that, and I'll tell you why. He said, John and Bill are just not willing to spend that kind of cash for holiday shopping.
Well, for you, Doris, anything.
A very Clyde Frazier-like jacket. His wardrobe taking that kind of turn.
Maybe we could pool our money and buy one of those for Doris.
Oh, for Doris?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not talking about buying it for yourself.
No. Well,
That's not quite my look.
You have to have a certain look to pull that off.
Being the fashion maven that I am.
What about if we tie-dyed the mink?
There we go.
Santa Claus, his work is already done. So he decided to come to the game. Tyronn Lue. James plays back off him. Gooden and Boozer, that's a great matchup.
How about Newbill trying to guard Tracy McGrady? Oh, what a crossover.
Dumps it down and Bogans with the finish.
This is as remarkable a turnaround as I've ever seen from a team, the Orlando Magic. I did a number of their games early in the season, and they were dead in the water. Doc Rivers, he needed to be fired.
Oh, and James stays hot. That's a three-pointer now.
To watch him practice before the game as the first player here every day, the repetitive motion of just flicking that wrist. And LeBron is so strong. When everybody talks about him, they always comment on his remarkable athleticism and his strength. We are seeing it here.
Tyronn Lue's shot no good. Gooden seals and finds McGrady.
Great outlet, Gooden.
Tyronn Lue dumps it down to T-Mac. Going head-to-head against James this time. But T got over there. Don't forget NBA doubleheader first. At 7:30 Eastern time, catch NBA Shoot-Around brought to you by Kia. Then at 8, Ben Wallace and the Pistons host Jason Kidd and the Nets. And finally at 10:30, Kevin Garnett and the Timberwolves take on the Portland Trail Blazers.
The Nets and the Timberwolves both playing great basketball, winning on the road as well as at home. Can they continue it?
That's Zaza Pachulia. And Johnny Davis told us before the game that he gives them some very, very important minutes.
A cerebral player comes in, doesn't have the physical capabilities of DeClercq, but a very hard worker, extremely young, Zaza.
Boozer no good. The T with it, goes up. Gooden gets a piece of it. And then Boozer grabs it from the other side.
Carlos Boozer, what was he, the 35th pick in the draft? Oh. Drew Gooden was in that same pit, in that same litter.
Pachulia no good. Boozer with the rebound. Averages a double-double.
And because of his draft location at 35, he's a free agent at the end of this season.
That's right. No guaranteed 4-year contract as for the first-round picks.
So he's in the same contractual situation as Rashard Lewis. Interesting idea. I would have rather seen Kedrick Brown throw it to LeBron.
Or throw that ball to Carlos Boozer as opposed to Kedrick Brown. Kedrick Brown wasn't going to get that one. The field goal percentages continue to stay high. Cleveland at 61, Orlando at 54. McGrady gets fouled by Newble.
Foul number 14, Ira Newble.
Ira Newble has brought a lot to this team. Free agent acquisition in the offseason. Ira Newble is one of those, quality guys. Spent some time with San Antonio where they really liked him. Just a numbers game. He's not going to get in the lineup with that front line of Tim Duncan.
Tyronn Lue dumps it down to Gooden. McGrady fighting to get away from Newble. Gets the ball, turns, puts it on the floor, gets a man up, and gets foul.
I've seen it all. Drew Gooden bailed out on the play to go pick up his wristband. Generally, when that
I saw him lose it.
Generally, when that happens, you just let it go and continue the play. You're not going to develop that much new sweat in the 30 seconds that it takes to get it back.
Mack at the line rattles that one around and out. Jason Capono is coming in to the game for Carlos Boozer. Here's a replay of what you were talking about.
You're going to get grabbed on the wrist all the time. And as Ira Newble, who has come to fight and come to play today, much the way we see Bruce Bowen from the Spurs come against Kobe Bryant, you got to just let that thing go if you're Drew Gooden. His zone defense here, very effective early on for Orlando. Last shot time.
Spread the floor. James to go one-on-one with Tyronn Lue. Lue around a screen. A couple of jump steps. Nothing there. Batted back out. Well, we told you at the start of this one that we had another Christmas present for you, and it's working out that way, Bill.
LeBron James and Tracy both red hot and doing it all. Three-pointers, drives to the hoop, leadership. That's what an NBA superstar is all about.
And Tracy McGrady says, King James, come to my house, and I will show you the things I can do. Merry Christmas. We'll be back. Welcome back, John Saunders, Bill Walton, and Doris Burke. Now, as you know, Bill, there are only 2 rookies playing in the NBA this year.
That's not true.
That's not true. There are other guys. I thought Carmelo Anthony and LeBron were the only guys. But Chris Bosh has been tremendous for the Raptors.
Toronto is playing tremendous ball. Dwayne Wade, TJ Ford, Milwaukee, a real surprise. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Jarvis Hayes is getting tremendous learning opportunity to the injuries to Stackhouse and Gilbert Arenas. The rest of the rookie class here,
not bad numbers. That is a pretty good group all the way across, but they don't get any hype because of this guy and a guy in Denver by the name of Carmelo.
Miami's coming back. Starting to happen for them again. Caron Butler, Lamar Odom is playing solid ball. And then what's happened up in Toronto is one of the great stories of this young NBA season.
Kevin O'Neal's done a terrific job there. McGrady turns around with a little rainbow of his own, and McGrady has 12. James is on the bench for Cleveland.
Tracy McGrady, the reigning Eastern Conference Player of the Week. LeBron was second in that voting.
Eric Williams has it stripped by McGrady. McGrady hits his backside, but is able to find Tyronn Lue.
Remember the last time we were here and Orlando stunk it up and Tracy was talking about retirement?
So come a long way from that.
Yes, thank goodness.
Shot clock is at 6. McGrady, Williams gets in his hip pocket. McGrady shoots off the mark, knocked out of bounds by Kevin Ollie.
In the game we were here before, Tracy McGrady ended up taking like 10 shots total. Now he's doing it all. The first 20 games this year, they lose 19 of them. They won on opening night against the Knicks in a game they had no chance to win. The last 9 games, though, have been tremendous. You throw out the Philadelphia loss, which was their previous game, and Orlando playing as good a ball as anybody in the entire league.
Tyronn Lue. Gooden has it. Tyronn Lue says, hey, don't dribble the ball down there, big guy. Get it back to the guys who are supposed to handle it. Lue coming up with a tough shot on the baseline that almost dropped. Williams with the rebound.
I'd rather have Tracy McGrady shoot that ball. Orlando Magic have 1 turnover the entire game. Rod Strickland, what an addition.
Bremer, a great three-point shooter, thought better of it. Shot clock's at 5. Williams with a 3. And the bank is open. I thought the banks were closed Christmas Day, weren't they? That's what I thought.
Oh. Santa delivering presents for Eric Williams. What a locker room presence he has been for Paul Silas.
Grady gets Williams in the air. Shots off the mark. Keith Bogans pulls it down. Grady drives and tried to pass the ball into the paint and got fouled.
Paul Silas has the luxury of versatile defenders with size to play against Tracy. Started with Kedrick Brown on him, now comes with Eric Williams. How about Paul Silas? Oh, and what a great story. His wife, Carolyn, it's her birthday today on Christmas Day. Happy birthday, Carolyn. She's back in Cleveland with their daughter, Paula, celebrating Christmas. The team will be home tonight.
Good buries that one. Yeah, that's a nice story, but he's probably in a lot of trouble for being on the road Christmas Day and the birthday.
No, they celebrate Christmas on the 24th because Carolyn, it's important that she stays happy because as we've all learned, that a happy wife means a happy life.
Eric Williams spins and loses it. Gooden slows things down a little bit. McGrady. Gooden is open, but he just completely cleared out Pachulia.
He's trying to set a physical tone here, trying to intimidate the young guy from Turkey, the third player in the history of Turkish basketball to ever make it to the NBA.
A guy who's been playing professionally since he was 15.
And they criticize the domestic players for leaving straight from high school. And no one ever says a word about the international players who do the same thing, if not worse.
Much younger. Gooden. Lou in the corner. Rattles around, dances, and finally drops.
Gooden is pump faking every time he gets the ball. But that's not going to work. You got to attack first, get hot, and then a pump fake will work.
Ollie drops it off to Williams.
Nice pressure defense, Bogans.
Shot clock at 7. Bremer. Three-pointer that's good.
They can get the kind of production out of Bremer that he gave to the Boston Celtics a year ago. Then things will open up. LeBron will be able to penetrate. Boozer and Ilgauskas and Eric Williams will have their way inside.
The all-time three-point shooter at St. Bonaventure made over 100 during his career. Right now, Cleveland is 5 of 6 from 3. Is that what you're talking about?
Take it to the hoop. You pump fake after you've got a game going. You come out thinking pump fake. Who's going to go for that?
Ilgauskas gets his position, turns. I used to think he expected somebody to be there to challenge that shot. Teron Lou with a three-pointer. Nope, they're going to call it a deuce. Say his foot was on the line.
I love this tempo. Talk about the Eastern Conference being slowdown ball. Nobody told these two coaches.
Williams in the paint. Too strong. Tony Battie with the rebound. Over Pachulia and drops it.
Johnny Davis needs some defensive rebounding. Pachulia, Drew Gooden just getting pushed around by the likes of Tony Battie and Ilgauskas.
There, Bremer picked up that foul. We've got a great one here in Cleveland. If you love stars and you like fast basketball, come back.
ESPN's presentation of this NBA Special Edition brought to you by Adidas Basketball, Forever Sport, and Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
Well, the folks here in Orlando came to witness an all-star performance from two young guys, and they have gotten that thus far. Take a look at the leaders. LeBron James with 14, Tracy McGrady with 12.
A spectacular day here in Central Florida. Sparkling sunshine, plants glistening in the morning dew.
No snow, though.
The points in the paint, 20-10 for the Orlando Magic. Paul Silas telling us that they needed to control the paint if they're going to win this game. The Cavs are staying in it because they're 5 of 6 from behind the three-point line.
Doris, what Paul Silas have to say in his last huddle?
Well, actually, I was thinking about something he said before the game. Everybody wanted to build this as Tracy versus LeBron. They're the leading scorers. He said, listen, both are team guys, but the reality is the competitive greatness they both possess. They know they're going up against one another, and they're certainly being like Santa Claus for us today, guys.
Absolutely. Here in check.
I think they're sitting out too much. This is the kind of game, they're both electric right now. They're both on fire. Put them in there. Let them play 45 minutes a game. The Orlando Magic have made their last 5 shots.
Good T, a little deep. DeClerc with the rebound to Teron Lue. Gierczek wants it outside the three-point line.
Now, both teams play tomorrow night as well.
Right.
But this is today. Let's go.
Bring it all. Gierczek. No good. Williams rebounds. Good T. Down to Williams. Oh, that's a tough jump hook. That's terrific.
But it's good ball movement against that zone, which you want to use instead of just excessive dribbling. Petit and Williams, of course, the times spent in Boston together. The shooting percentage is remarkable in this game.
Both at 57%. That's pretty good. This game might get to 200.
Fine with me.
Ilgauskas wants it down there. Moves on to Clark and then gets shoved from the back.
I love the plays when the big man is flashing when the ball is on the other side. Step in on that weak side duck in when the ball is on the other side of the court, and then the guy who's at the top has to come and be able to dump it down quickly to avoid the 3-second call.
Rod Strickland. You can see how many games he's played, and 7th all-time in assists. And Strickland signed November the 25th.
Back for the Magic, number 5,
Rod Strickland is one of the best ever to never play in an NBA All-Star game.
That's hard to believe that he's never played in an NBA All-Star.
Well, other guys on that list would be Cedric Maxwell, Eddie Johnson, who is the highest scoring player in the history of the league to never make an All-Star team, and then Derek Harper as well from the Dallas Mavericks.
That's an All-Star team right there.
Without question.
Good quick step on Boozer.
Timeout, Magic. Orlando.
Ilgauskas got over there and thought he swatted a piece of the ball. This one is going to be tight. This one is going to be high scoring. This one is going to be fun. We still have almost 6 minutes left to play, and we have a 43-42 game. The offense has been terrific, and the Chevy game track will show you why the stars have come to play.
Tracy McGrady from the outset got 12 points already on fine field goal percentage. LeBron getting it done on both ends. The defense into quick offense. 5 for 7 shooting continues his hot hand, but it's the three-point shooting. 5 for 6 from behind the arc, including the bank from Eric Williams, that have kept the Cleveland Cavaliers in this game.
Should only get 2.5 for that.
No, I think I should get 4.
Field goal percentage, both right at around 57%. They have been hot throughout.
I'm not sure why more players don't use the bank shot. Not so much on three-point shoot,
Right.
but just in general, it increases your likelihood of converting.
McGrady with the steal to Strickland. Takes it up and puts it in.
Rod Strickland's 37 years old. Now in his 16th NBA season. He's out of the league when they called him. This is his 7th NBA squad.
Ilgauskas a little bit too far away from the hoop. Williams to Bremer. That's his job. Three-pointer, not even close. Gierczek pulls it down. Strickland to McGrady. Nice passing. Oh, great to Juwan Howard. That's a free throw. Oh, what a putback by McGrady.
He makes the defensive play, gives it up, then makes an offensive play, and then finishes up the garbage. Now that's what an MVP player is all about. Tracy McGrady, 24 years old. We love him.
He opened up everything in his arsenal right there. LeBron James James with a three-pointer answers back. He now has 17.
Are you old enough to remember when people said LeBron James couldn't shoot?
Yes, I believe that was months ago. Cavs are now 6 of 8 from 3. Gooden. Tough shot, won't go. LeBron James brought it down. Williams chases a loose ball.
Not enough hitch for Drew Gooden. Surprising for a player that played for Roy Williams at Kansas, unable to develop that jump hook there.
Bremer has just put up 2 air balls, and this is a great three-point shooter. Strickland out to McGrady. Three-pointer! And that's what Rod Strickland has meant to this team. Somebody else under the basket would never even seen McGrady.
They don't turn the ball over. Paul Silas forced to take a timeout, finding things slipping away a little bit. Orlando has 1 turnover for the entire game at a pace like this. That's truly remarkable.
In a 5-point lead. Tonight on ABC, Christmas doubleheader brought to you by Lamisil. It begins with NBA Hang Time at 5:30. Then it's Dallas, Sacramento at 6. And Houston and the Lakers at 8:30. Then tomorrow night on ESPN2, New Jersey and Detroit. Minnesota at Portland. And Saturday night on NBA TV, New Jersey at Indiana. But don't forget those 2 games coming up on ABC, starting with NBA Hang Time. Mike Tirico and the gang. That'll start at 5:30.
What a great story Rod Strickland is, though.
Nowhere to go.
Wasn't even in the thoughts of anyone in the entire league. Now he comes, he's sitting on the bench playing behind Shammond Williams, who was filling in for an injured Tyronn Lue. They stink it up, the Magic in Chicago. They lose a game. Johnny Davis, Tracy McGrady calls everybody out, calls them selfish, greedy ball players. They start Rod Strickland the next game at Indiana, the best team in the East, and he hits the game-winning shot with 14 seconds to go, scoring 13 points and 8 assists. I don't think he's ever coming out.
LeBron James, another 3. That's good. And he had to back up on the release on that. 20 points for LeBron James. And he thought he was fouled. He wants 1 more, too.
We're seeing competitive greatness from LeBron James tonight. Remember the last time we had him? Just a passive defeat at the hands of the red-hot Minnesota Timberwolves.
Juwan Howard is not there. Boozer with the rebound. James at Kiricek.
Nice ball movement.
Ilgauskas clears his man out. Gooden and drops it in. Gooden's not going to get that call down there. Not right under the basket.
He was falling down while the ball was still in the backcourt.
McGrady sees an opening.
Watch out.
Oh, no!
You can see it in his eyes. He is determined, as we've seen every LeBron opponent this year.
I cannot believe that he was capable of doing that.
Give me the ball and get out of the way.
Here it is, folks, again. Pretty, that's here, there, everywhere for a deuce. Kevin, Greg, thanks a lot. And I'll be waiting for my gift from the 2 of you.
Well, you speak about positive things. How about the fact that Eric Williams, recently traded from Boston, had earlier this year created the Believe in Me Foundation in Boston, a foundation that provides access to dental services for underserved families and disadvantaged children. Now that's a guy, Eric Williams, who has given up his life to make other people's dreams come true, as has Carlos Boozer.
And I don't want to sound like I'm David Stern, but David Stern makes the point very valid that all we read about are the negative things and the bad things that happen to some of the players in the NBA. Why don't we have front page news when these guys do something like that? And most of them are all great citizens.
Amen.
How's that? You like that?
20 points apiece. You talk about head-to-head matchup right now.
Yep, a little deep on that one. Ilgauskas with the rebound.
Jess Kersey has to stop the game and tell the stat crew to wake up over there. They fell asleep during the timeout. One of the legends.
Still keeping up with these young guys as well.
You know, we cannot overlook the contributions to this Orlando squad that Paul Westhead has made.
Yes.
He's been here a month. They hired him as an assistant coach. Paul Westhead is one of the offensive geniuses of this era.
Remember, as the head coach of Loyola Marymount, they would routinely score over 100 in college games.
Also coached the Lakers to the World Championship in Magic's rookie year.
But Williams, tough shot, and drops it down.
Let's do it.
Grady now, 20 points.
Great step out, Ilgauskas.
Howard drives, turns, loses the handle, gets it back. And a foul called on Ilgauskas for getting on the back of Juwan Howard.
Foul number 11 to Julius Ilgauskas.
He better be quiet. He might pick up a technical as well.
What a reach by Juwan Howard, who seemed completely out of the play, and it appeared as if Cleveland was just going to storm up the court for an uncontested fast break. And now Juwan Howard a parade to the free throw line.
He was hauling that one in like a Michigan football player at the Rose Bowl after a fumble.
I'd like to go back to what Greg Anthony and Kevin Frazier were talking about on the studio, Pop, about LeBron and the Rookie of the Year. LeBron at the beginning of the season exhibition did not do himself any favors. He played this exhibition season like a grizzled veteran. Basically just going through the motions, no emotion, no ecstatic privilege to be out there in the NBA. And then he started the season very slow, very conservative. But the last 3 weeks, he has really found his way.
Dumps it down to Boozer. Boozer shoots over top of Howard, and Juwan Howard hits him on the arm for the foul.
Foul number 5, Juwan Howard. His second, first in the last 2 minutes.
How about the list of guys who were chosen ahead of Carlos Boozer at the same position in last year's draft? For Drew Gooden, that's a reasonable choice there. Melvin Ely, Chris Wilcox, Marcus Hayslip, Curtis Borchardt, Ryan Murphy.
Not exactly a who's who. Boozer, as you say, he comes with that Duke pedigree, and that helps.
Do scouts have guaranteed contracts as well?
No, I don't think so. Oh, what a move by McGrady, then the dish to Strickland.
Oh, you got to catch that ball and keep it on the move.
Gooden turns, uses the glass. Gierczek just trying to stay with James, and he gets called for palming the basketball.
Easy play to call. That's what's called the snake dribble. He could have called it 3 or 4 different times there. What I like about LeBron, oh no.
You can't do it. I know it's Strickland takes it and lays it in. I know Tracy plays for the Orlando Magic, but he can't create magic every time. Cleveland turning the ball over.
But just watching Tracy play, this is a remarkable performance by a special player and human being, Tracy McGrady.
Number 0.
Want to remind everyone it is Capital One Bowl week, and it continues with the Sheridan Hawaii Bowl at 8 Eastern. Expect a high-scoring game. Great quarterbacks from Conference USA. Freshman of the Year Kevin Kolb leads the Houston Cougars against Timmy Chang of the Hawaii Warriors. Coverage begins with College Game Day presented by Outback Steakhouse at 7:30, all part of Capital One Bowl week.
Eric Williams is one of those guys that just brings so much locker room presence, leadership, and is a coach's ally. Joining now guys like Kevin Ollie and Ira Newble, that gives Coach Silas a team that he can build around for the future.
Grady trying to shake Williams, then to Juwan Howard. Strickland into the paint, out to Gierczek, 3-pointer, it's good.
That's beautiful basketball. Penetration and dish. Now, where do you rank Rod Strickland in the hierarchy of great all-time point guards from New York City?
Oh, from New York City?
Well, you know, we're talking Kenny Anderson,
that's a good group.
Dean Membinger, Stephon Marbury, Mark Jackson, and don't forget, Bob Cousy. An MVP of this league, one of the few guards that have ever won it, plus one of the 50 greatest players of all time.
20-second timeout.
20-second timeout called by Orlando. Now, we talk about LeBron James and why he's been able to be so successful. I think one of the reasons is, and you and I have talked about this, he had an NBA body coming into the league. This is Tracy McGrady as a senior in high school. That doesn't even resemble the guy that's on the floor. And when he came to the Toronto Raptors, and I was there doing their games, he looked exactly like that. It was between the first and second year that he started to put some muscle on.
The physical maturity of LeBron James, who is so far advanced in comparison to Tracy, Kobe Bryant, KG. And if you looked at LeBron James and knew nothing about him, you'd say this guy's 28 years old.
And again, the body, you would not think that this is a guy who just came out of high school. And here are some of the big names that have done it. You saw Garnett and Kobe and T-Mac. Did in '97. This guy was a huge surprise last year, winning Rookie of the Year. And this is what they did in their first years. And I can bet that LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony are going to have better numbers. Carmelo, of course, after 1 year of college. 7 seconds remaining. McGrady trying to work something outside. Tyronn Lue, 2 seconds. Floater. No good. Howard might have beaten the buzzer had that gone.
What a game. We're looking at 120 to 116 here. And that's not before we get to the second overtime.
And we could be looking at James with 40 and T-Mac with 38, because right now it's 20 and 19. Both teams shooting at least 70% from three-point range. Doris Burke is with one of the stars.
Tracy, Ilgauskas and LeBron James are most effective against your defense. How do you do a better job with both guys?
He's doing a great job of finding the open spots in the zone. You know, our big guys are not rotating out to him, and he's making shots. And we're going to have to make an adjustment in the second half.
Great half for you offensively. Where were you most effective?
Just finding my spots out on the perimeter at times and driving to the hole, making things happen, creating for my teammates.
Good luck in the second half. John, back to you.
Doris, thanks a lot. The Toyota halftime show is coming up. ABC's preview, Ahmad with Peyton and Malone. And I have a feeling they may be talking about the players in this game as well. A couple of big-time stars.
Well, they should, because these guys have delivered on cue. The stars shining brightest all day long right here in Central Florida.
We'll see you with the second half. The Toyota halftime show is coming up. Welcome back to Orlando. Well, right now we have simply a terrific basketball game for you. You look at the first half stats, and in a lot of games this year, that's been the entire game.
A shootout here in Orlando. Both teams red hot from the field. Three-point percentage just absolutely remarkable. And as the Orlando Magic try to win their third home game of the season already at Christmas, that's not good, but we've seen a remarkable show today by two fabulous superstars, Tracy McGrady and LeBron James. 6 years different in age, and I've been totally impressed with what LeBron's been able to do coming in as the younger brother.
Energy really is what you talk about with both of those players, and this is what LeBron James has done. 7 of 9.
Including very solid productivity from behind the three-point line, 4 for 5. The one miss inside, and he was forced the other miss up against the shot clock. What impresses me so much about LeBron James is that everything he does on and off the court is just positive and upbeat.
Here's Tracy McGrady's shot chart.
Tracy started off spectacularly. Ended up with 19 points, but Johnny Davis took him out. And when the guy's that hot, you got to just milk him, wear him out. This is the kind of game that Tracy McGrady should never come out of the entire second half. LeBron either.
Doris, what adjustments might Cleveland make?
Well, their focus obviously was on the defensive side of the ball. They were upset with their rotations, their one-on-one defense, and their help situations against the drive. I have some adjustments about Tracy McGrady. He simply said, listen, we're going to concede the great plays he makes, but we need to keep him more perimeter-oriented and take away his easy baskets, guys.
And once again, we see Ira Newbill coming with tremendous defensive focus and intensity.
And McGrady just goes up, hits the jump shot over, and now he has 21.
That's how unstoppable he is. I mean, Ira Newbill's bigger, stronger, more physical. And Tracy just looked at him and rose up right in his face.
Boozer.
Oh, nice pass
underneath the Newbill.
That ball was blocked by DeClerc.
DeClerc got his fingertips on the ball. It comes back to Cleveland. Ilgauskas. And the shot clock violation.
Cleveland had no idea that there was a shot clock situation there. But with Tracy McGrady isolating on the wing, you'd think that LeBron James might want to go over there and make Tracy give it up, which is what all opponents were doing during the 19-game losing streak that Tracy had to suffer through.
I think a lot of the Cavaliers thought Newbill's shot hit the rim, and that's why they thought they had a lot of time. Rod Strickland for a three, no good. Kedrick Brown hauls it down.
Orlando is the worst rebounding team in the NBA by the numbers. Cleveland has to take advantage of that.
Rod Strickland hit the deck with nobody around him. Not sure what happened there. Boozer, great use of the glass.
I was out there on the court earlier, and that blue line is a little thicker than all the other
raised
lines.
up a little bit? Okay, that's the problem.
An extra coat of paint.
Yeah, to watch. Boozer now with 10 points, which is about what he averages, 13 and 10 rebounds. McGrady, three-pointer, no good. Chased down by DeClerc, who does a great job. Oh, sorry thought.
It came back and hit him after it hit Ilgauskas.
A great attempt, but it didn't work out.
LeBron James, who had 10 assists the other night, a career high, a foul here on Strickland. But that game was at Chicago. Remember, Cleveland has won 2 straight road games. They've won 3 overall coming in, but 2 straight road games after the 34-game road losing streak, which was pushing up against the historical levels set by Sacramento 13 years ago. Michael Jordan was watching LeBron that night, his first game back at the United Center.
And I'm sure LeBron was very aware. Keep going after Kedrick. You're going to come down with it one time. Oh, no. That was too much. Kedrick Brown could not get it to drop, and then, as if to show the crowd I can dunk, he went up and hit the front of the rim, and it didn't go down.
Poor guy. The fans just gave him the Bronx cheer.
Gierczek calling for the ball. Howard gets it. Boozer on his back. Turns him in.
This is the matchup. Those are 2 prominent power forwards there. Exquisite execution of that jump hook. That's what Drew Gooden needs to add to his game.
James, three-pointer. That's not going to be close. Looked like somebody opened his door.
Maybe he caught Bremer's disease from the first half. Bremer, who made his first shot, then shot 2 bad air balls. Cleveland starts out this third quarter ice cold, 1 for 6. What happened in the locker room?
I'm not sure what they could have said in the locker room after a half like that. McGrady with a little showtime behind the back. Clock is down to 7. Strickland dumps it off to DeClerc. Gierczek's got to shoot. And it bounces off the iron, but DeClerc chases after it, gets it, and into the hands of McGrady. How about that hustle?
I love that kind of play.
How about that kind of pass by McGrady down to DeClerc?
What a spirited performance we're seeing by the Orlando Magic. And the fans so appreciative, responsive to that kind of play by Andrew DeClerc. DeClerc's not going to give you much in terms of the skill or the polished game that you're going to get from the great low post players, Shaq and Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett. But there's no shortage of heart or hustle or determination in Andrew DeClerc.
How about this pass, Bill?
Well, splitting the defenders And what Tracy McGrady does so well is that he gives it up early. He doesn't wait until the double team gains control of the possession.
Clark dances that one down.
Clark's just one of those classic grinder type of players who every team needs. Unfortunately for the Magic, they've just got him as their starting center as opposed to their third string center.
No! The lob from the big man, the T, to the guard, James. It's supposed to go the other way, isn't it?
Things have changed.
22 for him.
Every play.
Every time one of them comes down and does something, it's LeBron up on the lob. The other guy wants to top.
Remember in our, look how high this guy is. Remember in our pregame meeting when Paul Silas was telling us of the reports that LeBron had reached the top of the backboard in practice the other day? I was stunned because I have never seen anybody get high enough to touch the top of the backboard.
I once heard that there was someone on the Harlem Globetrotters that could do it. Michael Wilson, that's right. He could get a quarter off the top of the backboard, I was told, but I've never seen it.
The greatest photo I've ever seen of a guy's elevation over the rim was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar playing at UCLA, where his head is up against the rim. I asked LeBron if he got the top of the backboard after Silas claimed that he did.
Right.
LeBron said, my coach is crazy.
Eric Williams leans in and drops it. McGrady got nobody on him, so he launches a three. Little deep, goes after his own and gets it. Spins underneath.
How is that not a foul?
There's an awful lot of contact underneath without the whistles. Tune in tonight for the premiere of NBA TV's Ahmad Rashad One-on-One with guests Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, Tracy Morgan, and more. I mean, those three guys, that's enough. 11 o'clock on NBA TV. Williams, great pass for Carlos Boozer.
Ahmad Rashad by himself is enough. Whoever he brings. Frick, Frack, Burger and Fries, French Schmid Lap. Doesn't make any difference when Ahmad is concerned.
Strickland swings it. McGrady, shot clock at 7. T-Mac beats it, but it comes right into the hands of Williams.
Tracy has cooled off. He looks good still, and he's still all pumped up, but the shots aren't falling. Johnny Davis senses that things slipping a little bit. Wants to call that time as the Cavaliers have tied it up.
ESPN's presentation of this NBA Special Edition brought to you by Nicoderm CQ. You're not a superhero, you don't have to be. You've got Nicoderm CQ. And IBM, taking business to the next level with e-business on demand.
John Saunders, Bill Walton, and Doris Burke. You see McGrady and James. That's not actually McGrady and James.
How can you tell?
From the back. But these guys are two of the most popular players in the entire NBA.
In for the Magic, number 0.
Joining Kobe Bryant. Of course, Allen Iverson, who's always atop the list. Tracy McGrady. Carmelo Anthony, the rookie sensation from Denver. And then LeBron James. The top 5 as of December 3rd. The 2 rookies dominating, Tracy, Allen Iverson, and Kobe Bryant.
That is something, isn't it?
We'll see Kobe in the evening's game tonight. Sad that Karl Malone won't be there tonight.
No, but they're going to miss him for only a couple of games, is what I hear.
Well, we can only hope. Karl's first major injury of his career at 40. That's pretty darn good. Out of the timeout, failure to convert. Problem for Johnny Davis.
James now swings it to Williams. Boozer sets the screen. Williams just trying to create something. It's not there, though.
That's not his game.
No.
You want to see LeBron take those kind of shots.
Strickland to McGrady.
Almost a box and one zone defense for Cleveland.
Good turns. Oh, and it's blocked by Batiste.
Need to use your left hand on that jump hook attempt.
Magic have missed their last 5 shots. Although the reason they missed that one was Tony Batiste. James, rainbow again. He can't shoot, right?
But he is doing what great players do regularly. Just dribble to a spot and get in the air. I mean, Jerry West, Michael Jordan, George Gervin, David Thompson, the brilliant scorers, Elgin Baylor.
We have an 8-0 run right now. And Gooden puts an end to that.
Changing defense this time for Orlando. Try to make LeBron and the Cavs think about it a little bit.
Loser to LeBron James. Strickland trying to stay with him. Batiste off the front of the iron. McGrady with the rebound. Into Howard. Tries a power move over Batiste. It's not there. Great rebound by Gooden. Hauls it down.
Surprising offensive rebounding prowess for the Magic today.
Strickland had it, and then Juwan Howard hit the deck after the pass. Williams.
Nice defense, Tracy McGrady.
Up.
Stepped out of bounds.
He was out of bounds when he received the pass.
With Orlando being the worst rebounding team in basketball, no real big power guys inside, you would think that Cleveland could keep the Magic from getting the 12 offensive rebounds that they've had this afternoon.
Well, if you're just joining us, first question is, where the heck have you been?
This has been a fantastic day of basketball.
But stay here because there's 2 more on ABC, and the rest of this one, with the way LeBron James and Tracy McGrady have been playing, this is a classic. Giricek's jumper is a little deep.
That shot's got to go down for Gordon Giricek. I mean, that's what he's out there for. You got Tracy McGrady drawing all the defensive pressure on the left side, and it's just Giricek all by himself on the right. Knock down a jumper, please.
Batiste. Shot clock is at 7. James. Short.
Great outlet, Tracy McGrady. Over the top with somebody.
Right to Strickland. Throws it down.
This guy was unemployed until a few weeks ago. Give me a break.
Foul number 14. Our renewal.
LeBron James, after the air ball, goes and pressures the outlet by Tracy. You got to retreat defensively in that situation. He puts his teammates at a distinct disadvantage.
He was going for the steal instead of getting back on defense, and those are the little things, the little nuances that a guy who comes out of high school will have to learn, because in high school he steals that ball. McGrady doesn't get the pass in high school.
And if he doesn't steal, he races back and blocks the shot at the other end.
Exactly. Giricek gets right up on LeBron James, spins him the other way, floater, tapped in, tapped out.
Terrible play by Giricek, bailed out.
Strickland, though, to McGrady, who tries to reverse it. I don't think that either team's going to have anything left to play a fourth quarter. You might have to call this after 3.
The fans will push them to limits never reached before. Rod Strickland, the sense, the perseverance, knowing that he's got McGrady on the right side the whole time. He has to get that ball, and he delivers. I talked to Tracy in the locker room. I was asking him about his summer experience with the Olympic qualifying team down in Puerto Rico. He just lit up. I mean, the dream of playing with the Tim Duncans and Jermaine O'Neal. Just a tremendous opportunity for him. He said, I've never had it so easy.
And to be able to put the United States back on top of the basketball map after poor performance of the World Championship team. 7-0 run right now. Batiste turns around and drops it down.
Any sort of play like that from a Tony Batiste or an Eric Williams will be a gigantic bonus for Paul Silas. Can the Magic survive with Rod Strickland on the bench right now? When he's been in the game, they have just been absolutely dominant. When he's rested, they have fallen apart.
Shot clock is down to 4, and Giricek just crossover his way out of bounds.
And to back up that point about Rod Strickland, when he's on the floor, Orlando has 16 transition points in the game. With him getting a rest, Orlando has 2 transition points. And he's 37 years old. I don't want to hear you say anymore, it's a young man's game.
Williams with a drive.
Eric Williams.
That's what you talked about, getting some bonuses out of guys like Eric Williams. As a result, Cleveland within 1 of Orlando. Well, Doc Rivers makes his debut on ABC as Houston faces LA later tonight. And of course, the reason Doc's available for television is because he was fired by this Orlando Magic team, but they had lost 10 games in a row when he was fired and replaced by Johnny Davis. And T-Mac says there's quite a difference.
Doc is a guy that is, he's a player's coach, and he demands that things be done right. And if they're not done right, he's outspoken. Coach Davis is more laid back, more humble, soft-spoken guy.
And Johnny Davis is a lot less visibly emotional.
Right.
Johnny Davis comes from the most modest means from the inner city of Detroit, Michigan. Johnny Davis went on to a fantastic career at University of Dayton, and then was chosen by the Portland Trail Blazers in the 2nd round.
Former teammate.
Johnny Davis won the World Championship for the Portland Trail Blazers in 1977.
Grady back out to Teron Lue. Jump shot. And again, the Baker, and Lue looks back. He wanted a foul as well.
He's trying his best to keep from bursting out in laughter.
LeBron James backs it up. Bogans trying to stay with him. Force him on the baseline, out to Kevin Ollie. The T, 4 on the shot clock. Wow. It comes to Williams. Look what I found.
The Magic gave up on the play. It didn't look like Tony Battie had taken steps. Everybody stopped waiting for the whistle.
Eric Williams has 16 points and 5 rebounds in 19 minutes of play.
Well, that's what he was doing for the Boston Celtics. But the Celtics are looking long-term. That's why they traded him.
Oh, did you see, not just the drive, he tucked that ball like a football and then released it as he got to the basket.
But just the patience, the sense of balance and perspective. LeBron James, 10 for 15, shooting 26 points.
Watch the ball go under his arm, right there.
But he can definitely palm the ball, but he lost it on the way up, so he had to kind of grab it, hold it, cradle it, find a way to get it back with the hang time.
Well, he used to be a football player, so
really?
maybe look at the improvement in LeBron James' game since Ricky Davis got traded.
You know what I like the best about it? Is that he's averaging 22 shot attempts since the trade. Offensive foul. Carlos Boozer can't believe it, but Bob Delaney right on top of the call.
Boozer thought he had reached that little area where they're not going to call those offensive fouls, but he was well outside of that box. Teron Lue. Good jump shot just inside the arc, well off. Eric Williams with the rebound. Ollie wants to push it. Decides to pull the string.
Not a lot of shooters on the court right now. The defense for Orlando can really focus in on LeBron.
Kevin Ollie, LeBron James thought about a 3. Teron Lue out there on him, and then 3-second call.
Tony Battie, he can't believe it. He's like, how could this be?
I wasn't in the lane.
But as an offensive rebounder, which Tony Batiste basically is, you have to anticipate the shot being taken. And LeBron came to a dead stop and was pumping, and really took Batiste out of the play.
Bogans with it now to Teron Lue. Lue backs up Ollie, then a top shot, and he makes it.
And Kevin Ollie is an outstanding defender. Lue has been the consummate professional since moving to the bench as the starter from the outset of this season. The injury, of course, slowed him down, but now it's Rod Strickland.
Ollie, like you said, at the other end of the floor. It's almost like it's on cue, folks. Teron Lue. Ollie comes back and says, all right.
Kevin Ollie, the pride of Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles, playing for the Hall of Famer coach Willie West. Same coach that developed and produced Marcus Johnson, the UCLA legend.
And actor.
And broadcaster. Now that's a tough shot.
You know, I started to say, if that goes.
If that goes.
I mean, that's what it's come down to, folks. Who can come up with the more spectacular shot between Tracy McGrady and LeBron James?
You know what the sad part is? We only have 12 minutes left of this masterpiece.
Maybe.
Overtime, that's what we want.
They came to play. They say they're the new stars of the NBA. It's Christmas Day, and they want to give you a little Christmas present. Very often when you build up a game like this afternoon, you don't get what was advertised. That's not the case today.
The first time these two great talents have ever played against each other. Tracy McGrady at 24, LeBron James at 18, soon to be 19 this coming week. But the fourth quarter, where champions, heroes, and legends are made. This is what it's all about. Christmas Day, the world watching. Who will be the last man standing on the grandest of stages?
They start off with a turnover. McGrady, tough pass for good. A little bit too far in front of him. And Tracy covers his eyes as he walks back. Boy, did I mess up.
It appeared that the play was so easy, but Tracy didn't recognize how wide open Drew Gooden was.
He needed a little more bounce on the ball, too. Ollie rubs off the screen. The tee.
Where's the shooting going to come from for the Cavaliers?
Ollie. Shot clock at 5 now. LeBron James. There's McGrady guarding him. Oh, my goodness! Tracy McGrady just turns back and smiles.
And he's calling for it. He's calling for it. Get out of his way.
All right, folks. If you haven't had enough yet, get ready for the next 11 minutes because McGrady and LeBron James are going to thrill you right now. James with 28 points. Shot clock's at 1. Gooden does beat it and does score.
We've got a game.
When LeBron James released that shot, didn't it look like it was going straight up in the air?
He was behind the board. He had Tracy McGrady, who's taller than he is, jumping in his face.
James got it again on the floor around Bogans. Into Ilgauskas. Turns.
That's an offensive foul. That's got to be an offensive foul. Jeff Thursday steps in, restores order. LeBron James against the baseline here. Tracy plays him as great as you can. And that is a bailout with fabulous rotation. That's the kind of shot that Larry Bird used to make with regularity when he was the 3-time MVP.
What are you going to say? That's the look on Tracy McGrady's face. That shot would have gone over Yao Ming. That's how much arc was on it. Offensive foul.
That shot would have gone over Yao Ming standing on Shaq's shoulders.
It would have, too. It almost looked like it was going straight up in the air.
LeBron has cooled off in the second half. When you're in that situation and you're playing with the lineup that he is right now, you try to get something on the run. A lot of standing around for the Cavaliers right now.
Ollie with a jump shot. Off the front of the iron. McGrady with the rebound.
And Tracy's really done a nice job on the boards tonight. The defense has been outstanding, is always showing why he's always an MVP candidate.
McGrady is denied by Ilgauskas. Bogans gets it back. Both teams shooting over 50%. Oh, Ilgauskas spiked that one like a volleyball. McGrady fakes it to Bogans, and he's good.
When we were here early in the season, Keith Bogans couldn't even get in the game. Now he's a major player for Johnny Davis. Everything that Johnny Davis has tried here has worked. Bringing Drew Gooden off the bench, signing Rod Strickland. Watch out.
LeBron James again. He's hit 30.
Remember when we were talking to Silas about the comparisons of LeBron to Oscar Robertson? And he was saying, well, LeBron, like nobody else, could shoot like Oscar. We are seeing a shooting performance by LeBron James today.
Offensive foul there. And the NBA calendar, don't forget, on ABC, a Christmas doubleheader presented by Lamisil, Dallas, Sacramento, Houston, and the LA Lakers. Starts off with NBA Hang Time at 5:30. Then tomorrow night on ESPN2, New Jersey and Detroit, Minnesota and Portland. And Saturday on NBA TV, New Jersey at Indiana.
Speaking of Minnesota, did you see Latrell Sprewell the other night?
Yep.
Oh, at New York? Living proof that mad cow disease exists.
He was fined $25,000 as well. Well, Latrell, every now and then, he's intense. He's very intense.
Over the edge.
Ron Lue to Gooden, swings it to McGrady. McGrady, tough three. Good. And McGrady looks at James with a little point of the finger and says, all right.
I want to see Tracy just say, I'm going to guard LeBron right now.
That's what I want.
Let's have the last 8.5 minutes of them going head to head.
James with a tough shot. Doesn't go down. James and McGrady each with 30.
Tough to execute the same shot you just fake once you come to a dead stop. You have no momentum, no rhythm.
McGrady, great pass into Gooden. He gets and drops it down. 6 assists for T-Mac.
You scoffed when we talked of the historical significance of this game at the outset 2 hours ago. We are witnessing something very special here in Orlando.
The stars have come out. They wear them on their jerseys, but there's one on each. Stick around.
ESPN's presentation of this NBA Special Edition, brought to you by Peter Pan. This Christmas, discover the timeless story as you've never seen it before, now playing. And Lincoln, there are those who travel and those who travel well.
It's Christmas, and two of the league's biggest stars are giving a gift that you will remember. Tracy McGrady and LeBron James have been nothing short of spectacular. Doris.
Johnny Davis talked in his huddle about two things. He said, defensively, listen, weak side help. Let's be aware. Don't hug up to your man. He also told Juwan Howard, listen, as well as Tracy's playing, when you're running the pick and roll, don't forget to roll in case he's got to give it up.
Boozer into Williams. He can't get it to go. McGrady with a tap to himself.
When we spoke to LeBron before the game, I asked him, who's the best player you played against at this point in your NBA career? He said Baron Davis. They just beat New Orleans their previous game.
Juwan Howard puts it down.
My sense is that after today's game, he will say that Tracy McGrady is the best player he's ever played with.
You saw what just occurred at the other end of the floor as we get a kick ball, and that's exactly what Doris Burke was talking about.
Well, Johnny Davis is the ultimate team player. It is only about winning. The ability to get everybody else involved has always defined Johnny Davis's life. Now he's alone at the top as the coach.
Ollie is open with 4 on the clock. Bounces around, no good, and we get a loose ball foul underneath against Williams. When you played with Johnny Davis, did you think he was the type of guy who could become a head coach?
When Johnny first got started, he was a 20-year-old rookie. 3 years at Dayton. never said a word. The quietest guy you've ever seen. He couldn't get in the game until the very end of the season. We had a severe ankle injury to Dave Twardzik, our starting guard. And Jack Ramsey looked around the locker room the next game. We were all terrified because we had just lost our key guys, Dave Twardzik. And Jack Ramsey looked and said, "You, Johnny Davis, it's on you." We went and won the championship because of Johnny Davis.
LeBron James gets fouled. Bogans thought he just tied the ball up. And Johnny Davis said, remember we talked about the calmness? He got up off the bench. He went over to Bogans and he said, you know what, kid, you're right, but there's nothing you can do about it.
What a teacher, what a leader. Now 47 years old, Johnny Davis, who had to leave school at Dayton in an era when everybody went to college for 4 years because he needed to take care of his mom, who had fallen on very difficult times, trying to keep the family together.
Largest lead of the game. That ended a 7-0 run. McGrady jump shot, and it's another three. Can you count to 40?
46 a year ago. I think he enjoys playing on Christmas Day.
LeBron James answers back with a deuce.
Remember the exhibition game they had here this summer when they were,
when sold it out?
LeBron brought his summer league team down here for the Cavaliers, and they sold the place out, scalpers out front. That's what we're witnessing here again today.
Gooden with it, spins on Boozer, backs him up, gets him in the air. He's looking to cause a foul, but can't get the call. Kevin Ollie to LeBron James. That's a deuce. Off the mark, Williams knocks it out of bounds. It'll belong to Orlando. 95-88 is the lead. A 10-3 run, the reason for the separation. So we've got McGrady with 33 and LeBron with 33. McGrady's going to have a triple. John Saunders, Bill Walton, Doris Burke here for a great Christmas game. Orlando leading 95-88. And Tracy McGrady and LeBron James have been nothing short of spectacular. Although James has 0 rebounds, T-Mac's looking at a triple-double.
I'm stunned because LeBron is a tremendous rebounder. And as many shots have been taken, the pace of this game has been tremendous. Eric Williams, the unenviable task of having to slow down Tracy McGrady.
Now Ollie on the double team, forces a turnover. James gets it down. Juwan Howard wisely.
They're going to call a clear path to the basket foul.
Oh, they are.
Well, they have to. Fouled him from behind. And
Clear path foul, number 5, Juwan Howard.
Not always consistent.
His third team foul.
that's what I love about you, John. Always finding a way to make it look good. So the one free throw and possession out of bounds.
Possession.
And Magic with a 6-point lead.
And the shot clock stays at 21. The referees, Delaney, Kersey, and Reichelt conferring.
James gets it. Nice pass into Ollie, who stops and pops.
One of the keys to defending LeBron long term is going to be to get him to come to a full stop, like the Magic have been able to do. Bogan's doing a nice job. Remember, Bogan's played high school basketball for Morgan Woot, a Hall of Fame coach out of DeMatha. Big bonus there before going over to Tubby Smith in Kentucky.
Juwan Howard wants to back his guy in.
Basket traveling violation.
They're calling a palming violation again.
The defense by Bogan's bumped off the pick, but you get him to come to that stop, and your chances of denying him tremendously improving. But if Kevin Ollie can get that shot to go down, that'll really help Paul Silas' dreams.
Williams drops it into the hands of LeBron James.
They're just clearing the side for LeBron.
Tried to lob it in to Petit, but Gooden said, forget about it.
Now that's LeBron's 6th turnover of the night, and people will be critical of that. But a great player is going to have turnovers. Remember, Magic used to lead the league in turnovers regularly.
If you have the ball in your hands, there's a good chance you could turn it over.
Coach Wooden always used to say, I don't want turnovers, but if we're going to have turnovers, I want them to be out of commission, not out of omission. And that's what we've seen tonight from LeBron James.
LeBron backs his man up, finds Carlos Boozer, drops it in.
Carlos Boozer.
How did he slip to 35 in the 2nd round of the NBA draft?
7-0 run by the Cavs. Shot clock goes under 10. Teron Lue tries to float one of his own off the back iron, and there's Boozer with yet another rebound. James now wants to go right at Howard and then says, I'll bring it back out.
Fans wanted a palming, but he kept his hand on top of it. Juwan Howard now matched up against LeBron. Beautiful switch there, Drew Gooden.
Shot clock's at 4. LeBron, long 3 is well off the mark. Knocked out of bounds, it'll belong to the Magic.
Okay, now right now the Magic are up against it. They've given up a good run to Cleveland. This is where Tracy, as the MVP candidate, has got to step forward. And that's what those guys do. You see that big C on his chest right there for captain? MVP time right here. We've seen that from Tim Duncan. We've seen that from Shaq. We've seen that from Iverson. We've seen it from Kevin Garnett. Tracy McGrady, unquestionably in that class. LeBron James about to join him.
Brady's played 42 minutes.
Good. That's not enough as far as I'm concerned.
Tough pass for Howard. Working on Boozer, goes underneath. Blocked by Petit. Bogans gets it back. Blocked by LeBron James. Ollie to James. Spins. Loses the handle. And LeBron comes up holding his face.
Happy holidays, Paul.
There's not a foul here.
How about a traveling violation?
Oh,
should have been a foul right there.
Yeah, I'd say.
That's a foul.
The hand to the face, I think it's a foul. In most games, they would call that. They didn't here. We got a close one. 2-point ball game here in Orlando. Want to remind everyone, Capital Bowl Week continues on ESPN tonight with the Sheridan Hawaii Bowl. Expect a high-scoring game. Timmy Chang, third in the nation in passing, over 326 yards per game. He's done that for Hawaii. Coverage begins with College Game Day, presented by Outback Steakhouse at 7:30 Eastern. All part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN2.
LeBron James playing on the road as a rookie, his first Christmas Day game, gets hammered, realizes he's getting hosed here in Orlando. Just forget about it, come back, drive to the hoop, you'll get to the line the next time. LeBron's only taking 5 free throws, making 4 of them today.
James gets it back, dumps it in. He was looking for Williams, but Gooden's down there to steal it. Another turnover for LeBron James.
7 on the night.
18 for the team. McGrady backs up. Shoots over Williams, and it's good.
How do you guard it?
You don't.
Eric Williams doing everything right, forcing him to his weak hand, in his face, bumping him.
35 for McGrady.
What a competitive response by Tracy McGrady today.
Boozer. That guy, you're right. How did he go to the second round? He can shoot it with a little range. He'll rebound everything. 16 points, 15 rebounds for Carlos Boozer.
And he's just getting back into it after the devastating ankle injury that kept him out for a number of weeks. Nice double team by Boozer.
Brady finds Howard as he comes to the ball. Shot clock now at 5 for T-Mac. Baseline. Didn't graze the iron, but LeBron James corrals it. That was LeBron James' first rebound of the game. That's hard to believe. I think somebody messed up there.
Strickland, what a steal.
And then he finds Good.
Way too early to start playing the clock, Johnny Davis. We're dazed and confused. We need a timeout right now.
And he almost hit poor Rod Strickland in the head. He heard the whistle. He knew it was over. And thank goodness for the quick hands, or that 17-year veteran might not be coming back. There's your score, and this is where it stands. The fouls give situation, none for the Magic, 1 for the Cavaliers. But of greater importance is how will the 2 stars finish in this final minute 30.
Home court, individual ability to create offense, age, experience, so much of it in Tracy McGrady's favor. The Cleveland Cavaliers playing very good ball, having won 2 straight road games, 3 overall.
Trouble getting that ball into the court.
And I love the matchup at point guard. Strickland versus Kevin Ollie here down the closing minutes.
Howard comes to set the screen, but T off of that. Gooden's jump shot rattles out. Boozer with the rebound.
Try to set up LeBron. Don't make him just create his own shot every single time.
Jiricek. He just ran a body block. Gooden gets the block of the ball. James creates. Boozer up. Taps it in, and he now has 17 rebounds and 18 points.
Boozer is just shoving guys out of the way, and all Johnny Davis can do is say, will somebody please get a rebound? We're running out of timeouts here.
And Carlos Boozer is averaging a double-double on the season. The last player to do that for Cleveland was Andre Miller, but that was with points and assists. The last guy to do it with points and rebounds, Tyrone Hill in 94-95.
And you say the double-double average, and as if that's something that a lot of people do.
Right.
Only 10 guys in the entire NBA do it today. Now, we're talking obviously Shaq and Duncan and Garnett, but Carlos Boozer right in that class. And And Carlos Boozer, he makes his contribution in the flow of everything. He never takes anybody out of his game. 11 lead changes, 20 ties. What a game.
No, we've got it teed up very nicely for the boys at ABC tonight at 5:30. We'll start with a doubleheader. But I'll tell you what, if they get a game like this, it's going to be a heck of a day of watching the NBA. We want overtime, don't we?
Without question, at least one.
We want overtime. 97 apiece, 46 ticks left in the clock.
And the shot clock, John, favors the Orlando Magic. They get down there, they get a good shot right now, and go to Tracy McGrady. Let him work his magic. It's been there from the outset today. Drive to the hoop, maybe get to the foul line even. But then they'll have the last shot as well.
Bottom line is, we've watched a lot of NBA games this year. This is the best one I've seen. And I got a great seat.
Well, sitting next to you is the great seat, John. What a privilege, what an honor. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Same to you and yours, and to all our listeners as well. Shot clock has 19 seconds on it.
Now the big guys here for Tracy, they've got to come out and release to set him up. And a good inbounds pass, and then get it to him early in the shot clock so he doesn't have to just shoot it.
Strickland to McGrady. Williams steps out on it.
Love the left-handed palm.
Just like it's a softball. McGrady floating, drops it off to Gooden. Rebounding, but T had it.
That's Orlando ball. Tracy McGrady slapped it off the leg. Cleveland's going to argue, but it's a futile argument. It's a good call. It was clearly off the Cavaliers' leg. Tracy, a beautiful pass here. Gooden, that's a shot that has to go down. He's up over the back of him, and then the slap down by Tracy. The fist pump, he's ready.
And now we've got just 4 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock.
I think if you're Orlando, you play for the last shot here.
I agree. I'd take it right down.
I'd even take a timeout right here and make sure everybody knows that.
This is like the LeBron James commercial. Everybody standing. McGrady, 3 seconds on the shot clock, releases off the front iron, put back by Gooden, no good. And we get a timeout called by Cleveland. They'll have 2 seconds to try and win this game in regulation.
Tracy wasted too much time. He just stood out here, dribble for so long. And then when his first foray was denied, a nice little screen there, they're allowing that clear out block by the screener. And he was up against it with a very difficult shot that he had to put up. Johnny Davis. Oh.
Well, he looks like he's having fun.
27 years in the NBA for Johnny Davis.
As a player or as an assistant coach or as a head coach. Head coach Philadelphia 1 year.
And Allen Iverson's first year.
That's right.
But now it's Cleveland's turn. And you got LeBron James, and with only 3 seconds, you basically got to get it to him and let him go right away. No real time for a secondary pass to try to get it to LeBron.
You may be going to overtime this afternoon, and that's tough because I know you got a game to do tomorrow after
that's okay. I'm not flying till
Kia NBA shoot-around.
We're going to the ESPN zone after the game. You going to join us?
Unfortunately, no. Ben Walker's at the Pistons against Jason Kidd and the Nets. You'll be at that one. And Kevin Garnett and the Timberwolves against the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow night on ESPN2. It is 3 seconds on the clock, not 2.
Inbounding the ball, critical. Who's it going to be? This is a young team here, this Cavaliers squad. You might even want to have Eric Williams throw it in. Got the experience, got the height, he can get it into LeBron. They're going to go, it looks like, with Keith Bogans on LeBron. I might want to put Tracy on him right here.
On this one.
On this one play. Tracy's not in foul trouble.
Although he's a good guy to contest the inbound as well because of his length. Comes in off of Boozer and out of bounds.
I think Johnny Davis is refereeing this game as well. Another timeout for Paul Silas. Completely dissatisfied with what happened on that inbound attempt.
Only 4/10 of a second ticked away. So if you're Paul Silas right now and you're in the huddle, you say, guys, that play I drew up last time, it didn't work.
That couldn't have been the play. Because I had the privilege of playing for Paul Silas, and he would never draw up a play where you throw it to the corner. See, Keith Bogans did an outstanding job at denying LeBron James possession, so the only angle was to throw it to the corner. The Orlando Magic did a very nice job of forcing everything to that side. You got to set a screen away from the ball to get something out in front of the court so LeBron can have some room to go either way.
Do you like having Tracy McGrady? You got people dancing behind us going.
It's a party here in Orlando.
It's Christmas. You expect that. Do you like Tracy McGrady? I know you said you wanted him on James, but do you like him contesting the inbound as well?
No, I would put Andrew DeClerc. I'd put the big 7-footer on the inbound pass. And then I'd just say, look, keep everything in that corner. That's the sideline, the baseline are your helpers defensively. If you allow LeBron to come up to the top to get it, then you're really up against it. Andrew DeClerc is in the lineup. See who he'll guard. They're staying with Eric Williams as the inbounder. All eyes on LeBron, still guarded by Keith Bogans. Kentucky Wiz, a second-round draft choice.
And they do have McGrady again contesting the inbounds play. The officials trying to get some of the Magic reserves to get out of the way.
If you're Orlando, don't try to get possession, just poke the ball away.
Keep your eyes on number 23.
He sets the screen and then comes off the screen. They can't get it to him.
The T, nowhere to go, has to launch a three. And we are headed to overtime.
97. Cleveland, 97.
Well, if when you got up this morning you had coal in your stocking because you were naughty, well, here's your gift this afternoon. Back here in Orlando, we are headed to overtime. In the last possession, a nice job by Orlando to keep the ball away from LeBron James.
The strategy is screen the screener play. Very tough shot for Tony Batiste. He sets the screen, and then Tony Batiste is supposed to come and set the other screen. But when you screen the screener, that guy should be wide open. Tony Batiste panicked.
LeBron James, 34. Third time in his last 4 games he's had 30-plus. McGrady, 35, a guy who averaged 32 last year to lead the league in scoring.
You mentioned the scoring run and binges by LeBron. He's the first rookie since Tim Duncan to have back-to-back 30-point games as a rookie.
And Duncan is coming off 4 years at Wake Forest, not out of high school.
Well, this guy is off the charts. I mean, what he has done already, what he's going to do in the future, and you see the focus and the concentration, the discipline, as they try to take the top level of paint off to keep Rod Strickland from falling down as he crosses some of the blue lines.
Seems to be a little rise in the parquet. But think about this. LeBron James in high school last year was on national television twice.
I did both of those games.
All right. How many were the Cavs on national television last year? None.
Well, the last Christmas Day game for the Cleveland Cavaliers was back in 1989 when they played at Atlanta. This is their 7th Christmas Day game, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 3-3 coming in to today's game.
Now, how tight has this game been? It was a 2-point game at the end of the first quarter. It was a 2-point game at halftime. It was tied after 3 quarters. And it was tied after 4 quarters as we head to overtime. This has just been an extremely competitive and close ball game.
I'm just very confused here. I mean, how can you wait till the start of overtime to figure out that there's something wrong with the center jump circle?
You know what? You can see condensation even a little bit closer to us, it looks like. There's obviously ice underneath this team as they have a minor league hockey team here in Orlando. And there's ice under the floor, and sometimes if it gets too humid or what, it'll come right through the floor.
well, isn't humid. It seemed like a beautiful day outside.
There's a guy, Ken Griffey Jr., who makes this area his home. And is a big, huge basketball fan. You know, it's interesting for him to be here in Orlando because you can almost draw some parallels between him and Grant Hill.
Okay.
You know, Grant Hill has played, I think, 47 games.
47 games in the last 4 years.
In the last 4 years. And Ken Griffey Jr., I don't know the number of games, but it's been more than half of the games that he has missed since he went to the Cincinnati Reds. And so you got a couple of stars who are on their way to the Hall of Fame and still may yet do that. And Ken Griffey will do that for sure. But Grant Hill, you just hope. You can't pull for a guy more than you can pull for Grant Hill.
Well, what a quality individual. This guy is so special on all fronts, and you desperately want it all to work out for Grant. But you know, he's in a very difficult situation. The hopes of the franchise, the hopes of the whole region here resting on his broad shoulders, and unfortunately that foot just won't hold up.
They're hoping to get him back sometime this year, and Grant Hill says, I'm going to rehab it all the way. In the meantime, we got some cleaning up to do before we can play the overtime. Welcome back. We are headed to overtime in Cleveland and Orlando, and we talked about condensation coming up from the ice. It turned out to be something else.
We talked to the referees, Jess Kersey and Bob Delaney. It was the intermission entertainment, the guy spinning on his head, putting the show on for the fans here, the loyalist entertainers could be. But the guy left grease all over the center circle. Never let the show get in the way of the game.
Doris, what was going on in the Orlando huddle?
Yeah, Johnny Davis very calmly looked at his guys and said, 5 minutes. This is about nothing more than our will to win. It's about what we're trying to accomplish as a team. Let's play smart.
McGrady gets it and draws a double team. And then Matee backs off. Juwan Howard releases.
And Juwan Howard comes up a little gimpy there. Interesting, the little hitch that both Juwan Howard and Drew Gooden have in their jumpers, in their face-up jumpers.
A little bit of an Anthony Mason in there.
But as Coach Wooden said about Jamal Wilkes, if it goes in, that's the greatest shot I've ever seen.
James just bumps Bogan's back, then is short, and Bogan skies for the rebound. And that's one of the things Johnny Davis said to us about Keith Bogans is, for a guy his size, he goes after the ball and the rebounds amazingly.
Well, he's a fierce competitor. Growing up in Alexandria, Virginia, high school teammate of Joe Forte.
T-Mac dumps it off for Howard. Howard hits again. 15 for Juwan Howard.
And for the subject of trade rumors around this league, Juwan Howard is really putting on a show tonight.
The T swings at Ollie. James tangs. Off the iron, no good. But T, though, gets the rebound and sticks it back.
Paul Silas going with a lineup, including the two new Celtics, Matee and Eric Williams, and then second string point guard, Kevin Ollie.
Strickland shot in the lane, no good. Boozer grabs it, and Strickland poked it out of his hands. We talked about this being a triple header here on ESPN and ABC. Don't forget Dallas, the Sacramento, Houston, and the LA Lakers. It begins with NBA hand time at 5:30. Shot clock is at 6. Ollie gets it, releases, too deep. Gooden with the rebound.
Imagine if Kevin Ollie had a nice stroke. I mean, he's such a good player, such a good team guy, such a wonderful person. He just can't shoot. Very sad. Nice pass, Tracy.
Howard, it's been all Juwan Howard, and he continues that. And McGrady continues with the assist.
Paul Silas calling for the offensive foul here, but hey, you're not going to get flop calls in an overtime situation, particularly playing on the road.
Eric Williams trying to get something, and he does.
But that's the smart veteran play. The beautiful slip behind the back pass. A little hesitation by Juwan Howard, but Tony Batiste just falling back. Stand in there, and you got to deliver punishment, not accept it. You know, when Eric Williams was traded from Boston, Eric, for the Celtics, was 6th on the team in minutes played. behind, of course, Paul Pierce and all the rest of the guys. But he was second in free throw attempts. Eric has always gotten to the free throw line in his career.
And I know many coaches love those freebies.
Well, that's how you control tempo,
right?
Is getting to the, if you can get to the free throw line on the road, and if you can rebound, you're going to be the dictator of how this game is played.
Bob Knight, Mike Krzyzewski, they want their team making more free throws than the other team attempts. That's now 8 points in the overtime for Juwan Howard.
And all Paul Silas can do is call a timeout, searching desperately for an answer. Who can contain Howard?
And in a game where the stars were LeBron James and Tracy McGrady, Juwan Howard has taken over the overtime. All 8 points. Now, why doesn't Juwan Howard play like that more often?
I don't know. Save it for the air. Save it for the air.
Yep. Top 10 games. Okay.
That's the show on ESPN after us.
And then what did you say? Okay. Yeah, that again. Orlando leading 105-101 here in the overtime. I want to remind everyone, coming up when we're done, it's Sports Center Top 10 Games. That is coming up next. Juwan Howard is making a bid to be in the top 10 games because he's got all 8 points in this overtime.
Which begs the question, why doesn't he play like this all the time? From the outset, he came down here as a high-priced free agent from Denver. He had a good season last year while it was just absolutely horrible. 7 first-half points tonight, including the overtime. He's got 12 in the second. But it was not a good start to the season for Juwan Howard, which is why people around the league think that he is about to be traded.
After what they've seen tonight, they'll think twice about that. LeBron James puts it on the floor, swings it to Ollie, 3 on the shot clock. Eric Williams, 3-pointer, well off the mark. Shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation, magic ball.
Let that one go, right? Don't forget, tonight on ABC, it's a Christmas doubleheader presented by Lamisil. Beginning with NBA Hang Time at 5:30, Dallas and Sacramento. Then Houston and the LA Lakers. Al Michaels and Doc Rivers making their debut on ABC's.
The Cavaliers wasting so much time early on. And they give it to LeBron, and he's getting double teamed in the corner over there, and you've got nobody to pass to. That's the toughest pass in basketball, that cross quarter as you're falling backwards away from the defensive pressure.
And 1 of 5 in the overtime. McGrady, he's been willing to defer to Juwan Howard here in the overtime. And Howard's feeling it. That one doesn't go down. His first miss. But Rod Strickland chases down the loose ball.
What a pickup. What a sense of how to play a floor game.
McGrady backs off Williams. Gooden with the screen. Now has Boozer shooting baseline. And buries a 3-pointer. T-Mac is at it again.
He dribbled away from the basket and then jumped up right in front of Paul Silas, who just slumps back in disbelief.
In a 7-point lead.
Cleveland has lost control. They've lost a sense of what they're trying to do. They're trying to commit fouls here, and the referees won't call it. The referees must have an early flight to catch.
The overtime wasn't in the plan. This is what you talked about.
Nice double team. Although, ideally, Carlos Boozer would force Tracy back the other way. An indefensible player, Tracy McGrady.
His first penalty situation.
Or is it undefensible?
Indefensible. Undependable.
No, that's me.
38 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists,
and a gorgeous smile. Nice little rhythm to his dancing.
He's feeling the music. He likes Christmas Day. 46 last year on Christmas Day.
You know, I asked him what he got for Christmas. He said, Bill, even though I'm only 24, I'm the giver at Christmas.
Oh, is that right? He's the giver? Yeah.
He's the giver.
Except one Christmas, he gave himself a Ferrari. So he may be the giver, but some of it's coming back.
Last night it was his 11-month-old daughter at his beautiful home here in Orlando. That was all about Tracy McGrady's Christmas.
What a performance he has put on. Largest lead of the game here in overtime. So now you said, so after the game, I go back, I interview LeBron, then we come back and do ESPN News? That's correct? No, I said after the game, I go back and interview LeBron, then we come back and do ESPN News? Oh, there is no ESPN News. Okay.
So you're going to do an interview with LeBron right now?
Yeah, they're going to run at halftime of the ABC game. Tracy McGrady has been just part of the story because LeBron James has been great. But McGrady has shown that the high schooler out of Ohio still has some way to go to catch up to another guy who came straight out of high school. Don't forget that ABC doubleheader tonight, beginning with NBA hang time, 5:30, Dallas and Sacramento. That's going to be a high-flying scoring game. And Houston against the Lakers, Shaq and Yao Ming.
Paul Silas said at the outset that LeBron James is the quickest learner he's ever seen. LeBron James has learned so much in the first 6 weeks of his NBA career. But today he learned even more, and that's the necessity of being the star at the end of the game. Now, right. Tracy McGrady came and set the tempo early. Just the explosive dunks and flying around. Got the crowd totally involved. LeBron responded magnificently, and it was just absolutely great. Then in the overtime here, following the lead of Juwan Howard and Tracy McGrady, the Cavaliers haven't been able to keep up.
Well, let's see what's left in the tank for LeBron James. They got Jason Capono on the floor because he's one of the best shooters in college history.
Well, the UCLA legend, Jason Capono, was supposed to play more today against the zone defense. But the game was tough and it was fierce, and Capono really never got a look until it was too late, basically desperation time. And with Johnny Davis coming with the 4-guard lineup right now to spread the floor and kill time, Cleveland finds themselves in a situation where they just basically have to chase the ball and foul every time and hope for a complete collapse of the Orlando Magic.
Juwan Howard looking for his 20th point of the game and what would be his 9th point in overtime. He had Orlando's first 8 points in the OT.
Oh, missed them both.
And both in the identical spot. LeBron James, rainbow won't go. Lou ahead to Bogans.
Nice
drops
pass.
It to Lou.
Bogans. Hey, Bogans impressed me tonight.
I agree.
He had done a lot of good things for Johnny Davis. But on a night of stars, it was Tracy McGrady, the brightest one of all.
Oh, McGrady. Why not?
So how many is that?
41.
Still far from Bernard King's record of 60. Remember, Wilt had 59 on Christmas Day back in 1961, 42 years ago.
An amazing game on Christmas Day. We're happy we could give you this gift. Once again, our final score, 113 to 101. The Magic do it, 43 for McGrady. Coming up next, right here on ESPN, SportsCenter's Top 10 Games. From Orlando, I'm John Saunders. For Bill Walton and Doris Burke, so long from our entire ESPN crew, and happy holidays to everyone.
Next Magic Television Network game presented by Nextel, UPN 65. Tomorrow night, as the Magic take on the Spurs.
You ready?
Dash countdown to Magic.
Hey, doing great.
Start today.
I got you generic.
Hey, Magic fans,
You got it.
Souvenir stands are still open.
Okay.
Stop by on your way out. Take on Orlando.
Tracy, Juwan was able to dominate the early part of overtime. Why was he so effective?
Because he's running a pick and roll, and they were trapping a pick and roll, and he's definitely wide open, and he was able to knock down shots for us.
Great individual matchup between you and LeBron. How aware are you of that kind of individual matchup when these games are going on?
Well, that's why we're playing on Christmas. You know, he's not surrounded by the hype for nothing. He's an outstanding player to be 18 years old, and I was just looking forward to the challenge. He came out and did a tremendous job.
You were plus 40 last Christmas. You're plus 40 today. What is it about playing on this day?
I don't know. It seems like nothing else is really going on, and everybody is watching, especially watching today, because they wanted to see the matchup between me and LeBron. And, you know, I'd rather be at home with my family, but Merry Christmas to them. But, you know, I don't know what it is about Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well, Tracy. Thanks.